These guys grew incredibly fast. They're only right at 8 weeks old, and they are plenty ready to go ahead and process. So that's what we're going to get done today. 17 birds that I need to process, and I'll walk you through the process of how I do that. Let me go take you and show you my setup over here, and waiting on the water to heat up over here so I can get them plucked, and then we'll get to actually processing the chickens. You can see Max is mad at me right now. Well, he's not mad yet, but he will be here in a minute because he's banished to the backyard. He can't be out here while I'm doing this. He'll just be in the way, get too excited. So, yeah, right now he's just chilling. He's just hanging out, but he's going to get all wound up when I start pulling chickens out of that tractor. We'll see. All right, so this is a basic setup here we've got. I can bring you in close and show you a little bit of it as we go through, but basically we've got the cone over here. This is where I'll be putting the chickens in to dispatch them. Then I've got my pan of water heating up here, so we'll be dunking them. So the feathers loosen up, they're a little bit easier to pluck. Got a little makeshift gamble, I think they call that. Just a couple of slip knots in a piece of paracord. I'll be tying them up here, hanging them, and plucking them myself, hand plucking. I don't use an automatic plucker because they're just too expensive. I can't justify the cost of them for just the small amount of birds that I do. A couple of coolers here, and I've got a tub over here you may not be able to see, but it's just a Rubbermaid tub full of water. They'll go in there to get kind of cleaned off, and then they'll go in this cooler here with some ice. They'll stay in that cooler for a couple of days, probably 2 days, before we vacuum seal them up and put them in the freezer. And then I've got my table over here. Let me turn the camera. And this is where we'll actually be processing the chickens after they're plucked. So I'll bring them over here. My wife is going to do most of that. She's great help with this. She does a great job with it. So I'll take care of dispatching and plucking, and then she'll take care of kind of cleaning the birds out. She doesn't want to be on film, so we're not going to show you her doing that, but I'll take care of the first one just to show you how we do it. And then, so we take them over here, we get them processed, you know, the entrails removed, all that kind of stuff. They go into this water bath here to kind of clean them off, and then into a cooler with some ice. So we got my water heating up. Let me check the temp. Okay, it's getting close. We need to get this water up to about 150, 160 degrees before I continue. So we don't want to cook the birds in there, but we're going to dunk them in there for a couple of seconds. Well, 30 seconds to a minute roughly. That loosens the feathers up, makes them way easier to pluck. We've got a windy day here today, so hopefully the wind's not too bad on the mic. But that's all I'm waiting on is for the water to get up to temperature. We're at about 125 degrees, so we got about 25, 30 more degrees to go. And then we'll get to processing some birds. And of course I got my nice neoprene gloves here, so I don't have to worry about getting my hands too nasty. It'd be a lot easier to clean up in the end. All right, so it's time to go ahead and grab the first bird. And here we go. Okay, so this is the cone that we use. This keeps the bird from flying all around, so just put him in here. Where's his head? Where's his head? Grab his head down through here. I can't get a hold of it. There we go. And then what I'll do is just right under, I know that's hard for you to see, but right under his throat basically, or just take his head off. Now this part I can't show on video, so you'll just have to trust me, that's how it goes. Get a good sharp knife, and it's done. We're just going to let him sit there until he stops flopping around, and then we'll move on to the water bath to get him ready to pluck. This makes it a lot easier. I made this cone myself out of just some aluminum flashing. I just spiraled it into a cone and screwed it to the tree. This makes it a lot easier. I don't have to worry about the bird running around. You know, you hear about running around with a chicken with its head cut off. They do. They will run around. They'll make a mess everywhere. You got to chase them down. This keeps it all contained. Much, much easier to deal with here. I'm going to go ahead and get my rope and get it tied onto his feet. Check my water temp again. Yeah, I think we're good. We're just a little over 150. I think we're okay to go ahead and get started here. So the bird goes from here. This is probably going to overflow when I do this, because I did not think and did not, hopefully it doesn't put my fire out. Probably did. So we're gonna get him in here. Yeah, I did put my fire out. Let me turn this off for a minute. We'll take care of that here in a minute. But he just needs to dunk, probably, like I said, 60 seconds or so. I filled my bucket or my pan way too full. I wasn't thinking at all. So we're gonna dunk him in there, and you can tell because when you start pulling on the wing feathers, they'll just come out. And a couple of them came out, but not good yet. Not quite yet. Oh, I lost my thermometer. Let's take that out for a minute. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Yep, we're good. So, I like to hang the birds up to pluck them, and I just start with the wings. Just pull the feathers out of the wings here. And I can go through this pretty quick once I get kind of a little bit of practice. Let's get the other side. Just pull the feathers out. And then I just start grabbing and pulling. And usually I can get the bird plucked pretty quickly. Just kind of scrape at it, and most of the feathers come right out. Now, I don't have all the feathers, but I'm having a hard time now telling what's still in there and what's not, so I'm going to spray them off real quick. I can tell I've got some still stuck here that I haven't got loose yet. Don't try to start that yet. I gotta dump the water out of it. Unless you want to try to take that pan off there, set it down, dump the water out. These little wing feathers are sometimes a little bit of a pain. You gotta slow down and pay attention to what you're doing there. think I got it. Let's see. A few still stuck up there by the legs. Most that's not going to stay on there anyway. We got one or two still stuck right there. Worry about those on the neck. I'm not saving the neck, but all right, one more time. Let's see. I think we're good. All right, let's move him over, get him processed. All right, first things I'm going to do is right up here by the neck, I need to get the what do you call that? The crop out. So just make a little slit right there, open that up, and I should be able to find it. Should be right there. You don't want to, you want to remove this. You don't want to leave that in there because if you go inside and start pulling through, you're going to pull that all through the meat, and it can spill everywhere. There we go. Cut underneath. Can't get a hold of him. And there we go. Got that taken out. Let's just cut that away from everything else. Okay, that's going to be trash. So then I'm going to turn him over. I'm going to go back here. I need to remove his legs. Let's see if I got something in here. So I'm going to remove his legs, his feet right there at that bone right there. So we'll see if I can do this. Whoops, I missed. Now that knife's not sharp enough. So we'll just cut around, find the bone, the joint, break it, and then we should be able to just cut it right off.
Too high.
Do you? No. Find the kneecap. So to remove the feet again, find the kneecap right there. I'm going to cut right up to that bone. Snap it, and then we should be able to cut right through it. There we go. I don't need that after all. Now there are some glands back here on the back that you're going to want to remove. I usually just remove the whole tail because it's just easier for me to do that. So I'm going to cut right here and just remove the whole tail. You want to be careful that you don't make a huge mess. So I removed the tail. So now I'm going to go right through this back section. Try to cut just the skin so I don't open up the intestines. And I should be able to just peel that open. And cut right around either side. And then I should be able to open that up. And then at that point, it's just get my hands inside there and pull everything out. Stretch my back out a little bit. So there's the liver if you want to save the liver. Should be able to just pull that away from everything else. We'll get rid of the gallbladder. Where is the gallbladder? There we go, right there. And just pinch that, pull it away, and it's trash. And then my liver is going to go in the bowl for the scraps. Reach up inside there, make sure I got everything peeled out. The lungs can be a little bit tricky to get them out of there. That should be the heart right there. There we go, there's one lung. And there's the other one right there. And that's about it. I got and there we go. That is pretty much cleaned up. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the neck as well. I always end up cutting that off in the end after anyway, so might as well just do it right now. All right, so he goes in here right now, and what I'll do is I'll just leave him in there until we get the next one done, and then when we get the next one done, he'll go into the cooler with some ice, and the next one will go into there to clean off a little bit. All right, so that's one down, 16 more to go. That one went a little bit slower than normal because it's the first one of the season. I haven't done it for a whole year. The next one will go a little bit quicker, and then by the time we're done, we'll be experts and we won't have to do it for another year, but that's okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these guys processed. I'll do a little bit of filming throughout the process, but for the most part, that's the process that we're gonna go through. Like I said, my wife's gonna handle actual, gutting and cleaning them out like that. I'm gonna handle the dispatching and the plucking, and together we should be able to get this done in, an hour, hour and a half, something like that, maybe 2 hours. I don't know, we'll see. Max isn't too sad. He's got himself a chicken foot to chew on for a while. That'll keep him occupied for a little while. Well, we got 11 done so far, 6 left to do. We decided to take a little bit of a break, so now I'm trying to motivate myself to get going again. It's not necessarily a really hard job, but when you're doing that many in a row, it does kind of wear on you. My back starts to get stiff and stuff, so you got to take a break every once in a while. But it's about time to get going again. Here's where it's starting to get tricky because these guys are getting hard to catch now. They're getting down in numbers. There was whenever they were all crowded in there a little bit more, it was a little bit easier to grab a hold of one. Now they're getting a little bit trickier. But and they know to stay away from me now. All right, let's see. How about you? That wasn't too hard. This one's a screamer. So what I've kind of gotten to where I'm doing now is, I'll let one, I'm letting him bleed out, letting him calm down, and the nerves quit kicking around. I'll get him, scalded here, and then hung up and ready to pluck, and then I'll go grab another one and go ahead and get it dispatched in the cone here. And that way, by the time I'm done plucking, the nerves are done kicking in the next one and he's ready to go, and it just kind of keep that process going. That's working pretty well so far. We'll see, has he calmed down? Yeah, I think nerves are mostly gone here. Let's get him scalded. Where's my water temperature? Ooh, hot. I've got a little bit of a problem because it's so windy out here. I can't keep this water on a low temperature where I need it. I can't keep the fire down low, let's say, to keep the water where I need it. So I've just got to turn it on, heat it up, and then when it starts getting a little too hot, just turn it off and turn it back on a little bit later because the wind keeps blowing out my flame whenever it gets low. Okay, he's ready. All right, so he's all hung up now. He's ready to start plucking. I'm gonna go get another one, get it dispatched, and let the nerve stop kicking while I'm plucking that one. That seems to be working pretty well so far. Well, it took a little longer than I expected. It took us about 3.5 hours to get that done. Of course, we did take about a 20-30 minute break about halfway through, a little over halfway through. But all in all, it went pretty smooth. It's a little bit of work, but now we got, a bunch of food stored up in the freezer, and I think we got maybe $5 total per bird in the cost of food and buying the birds. So a pretty economical way to get some as close to pastured poultry as you can get living in town, hauling them around in this tractor every day. But you can see the tractor is empty. The birds are in the cooler. They're resting right now. We'll give them probably 2 days, maybe 3, we'll see. And then going to go ahead and vacuum seal them, and then they'll go into the freezer. I did try shrink wrap bags at one point, and I don't know if I got the wrong ones, if I'm not doing it right. I just couldn't get them to seal up very well. I couldn't get them to shrink up very well at all. So I moved away from those, went back to my vacuum sealer, and it's working really well. So anyway, I guess that's about it for this video. Sorry I didn't get much else filmed. I was just busy. Didn't have time to just stop what I was doing. I had my hands all messy, turn the camera on, all that. So I just went with it and just got it done, just got it knocked out. So, but anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And as always, God bless.